I only slept for about 45 minutes tonight. Well, because I haven't slept real good for about a week. And, so um, we'll load this thing up and I'm going to just crash, lay down on the bed. With the air conditioner running for a while because it's been warm, and I'll get up and turn off the air conditioner later. Um, um, whew. Shit, I'm tired, you know. But we've discussed numerous times about cooking the books scientifically to get whatever results you want to try to justify the ends to the means to your science project, to keep you powerful and in authority and keep your project the leading project. You cannot trump the truth of creation with invention. You cannot invent your own narrative to life, right? In Sierra Vista, they tried to convince me that the intellectuals were superior to superstitious people. And I was like, well, superstition sometimes has a better perception than intellectual, because sometimes superstition realizes there's no human solution, that you just have to try to be good, and not try to solve the problems that need a human solution. You just being good is the solution to the problem. And they see it as superstition. No, it's just humility. It's just most people are not capable of that. They're very few and far between. That's why they're turned into enlightened despots and into people that are divinity. Like old Clan. And in Massachusetts, the Kennedys are gods there. Which is stupid. I'm the Messiah and I'm not a god. Okay, Judah Krishnamurti is similar to me and he's not a god, and Sun Yat-sen is similar to me and he's not a god, and Haile Selassie is similar to me and he's not a god. Okay, God's omniscient and omnipotent. How can a human being be omniscient and omnipotent? Do you think you're Harold Klemp or Paul Twitchell? So don't do that. I knew that right away when Klemp said that in his books. You write down your initiate report. You can put it in a drawer, and I'll know where you're at, and then I'll move you in your levels of membership in our organization accordingly. So I called him on it. I tested it. I never went past the second initiate, and he told me that I would reach my levels accordingly if I wrote him down and he would connect to me, and it's what he said. Okay. He said it in his book, so I called him on it. I wrote down my initiate reports. I did all the things I was supposed to do that he said in his books, and Mom had all his books. I read all his books. I did my spiritual exercises. I got frustrated because I didn't have them like the other people talked about. They were like hallucinations. I went to the temple of Hamamra. All I ever did was talk in conversations to the people that Twitchell had went, and I just had really good conversations with those people. Well, one of the people I had a conversation with, I drew that picture Rodney had me put echo on it, those two pictures in the garage of Lord Saladin. And I drew these pictures, and I didn't know who he was. And I sit and I did my meditation, my spiritual exercises to try to connect to the people that I need to connect to spiritually. And I got this man from Arabia. He was very handsome. And you saw the pictures I drew, the ones next to the Jennifer Lopez painting in the Red Hall. Right? I drew the one where he was the Heart of David, and the mosque was clean. Everybody could come keep worship in Jerusalem. And then the Holy Crusades hit, and then he's on the outside with the blood dripping down from his cheek, and the temple that he was standing in was in ruins, and he had a tear coming from his cheek. So that was the result of my spiritual exercises. But Klemp never acknowledged any of my meditations, my initiate reports that I wrote timely and put them in my drawer and had them all in my drawer. I threw them away. I don't know what happened to all the ones that I did in the military that Mayor Montalvo read. They were all stories about who knows what happened to them. They were about my dreams of being apart from Yolanda and how I missed her and wanted to be with her and didn't like what was happening in my life because I had, wonderful, 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 you know. And the thing about it is, I was out there shooting hoops in the barn. I'll never play basketball again competitively, and I understand that. I don't need to. I don't want to. I'm 60 years old and I've been chemically compromised and poisoned to the point where physical injury in that competition could cause detrimental damage to my body that could be debilitating because of the melanoma in the shin and nerve damage to those areas that are very essential to move and dance and jump. I tried to leap up on one of those little wood benches yesterday like Harold and Fayard, and I couldn't. I went up on it, but it wasn't as graceful and bountiful as I used to be, or would have been 10 years ago. And 10 years ago would have been easy. Boom, bounce back. Probably could even jumped up on to the side of the little metal rails on the barn and jump back off and land, and stuff. 10 years ago, had they not chemically poisoned me through lawmakers, Okay, when was that? That was 2017. I had pissed off the Supreme Court at Motel Boulevard in 14 or 13. Let's declare the Supreme Court a joke. And we're a military town. We're supposed to protect American citizens from our own government. Let's get up and let's reject these cell phone towers that we are not able to talk about the actual issues of the problems with the cell phone towers in public because of a gag order from the Supreme Court because they're considered public utilities. It basically said, let's tell them no. Let's send a strong message from a military corridor of our public, our wounded warriors, honor our warriors, and stuff. Let's get up and let's be gracious good shepherds instead of wounded warriors, It's basically what I told everybody in that room, and it was hard because I had to do acrobatics with linguistics because they had a gag order that they could shut me up if I said anything about those towers causing cancer in people close proximity to them, which there were plenty of tests to prove those results. But the people that I talked to in the house next to that cell phone tower told me, you can't go argue that. So I can't say anything about those, yes, because there's a gag order. You can't talk about that in the meeting per the Supreme Court because it's a public utility. And I was like, God, that's horrible. But I went and I spoke and I did it. And I kicked the Supreme Court in the dick and the vajayjay so fucking hard. The whole Ivy League, is like that snooty professor on Back to School sitting in there, Ashton Martin or whatever it is with the dirt falling out. I dedicate this building in the name of me. So yeah, it was like that. So you like that. Yeah. So I see why, the Supreme Court still treats me like they do and still act like I don't exist. And the NSA and the CIA and the FBI and NASA ran me over in the parking lot of Best Buy on Loman back in 2017. It was probably before that, huh? No. Well, I got pissed off because the military wouldn't stand up with me, and then I challenged them. I said, in 8 months I can get myself in really good shape, but one day you can pull your head out of your ass and you won't do it. Then I proved that too. It's like, damn. What? If this isn't King David and Samson and Solomon enough, I had cancer poisoning. Okay. That's killing the poor people, and it's making me sick. But I go into remission, and it makes me sick again. I'm dying. No, you'll go into remission again. Why? Because you don't self-medicate. You don't get assimilated by the medical industry because you didn't have good enough health care. Gosh damn that David Rockefeller. He is so cool. He set you fuckers up. You could have killed me with your health. You don't want to kill me with your health care. Yeah. Yeah. You wanted to use me as a focal point to move the masses where you wanted them moved. Yeah, but we have militia at the center. Pride'll do. Pride'll do. All my pride is all I have, and your dreams are very special. Pride'll do. Yeah. What Jennifer Lopez doesn't know is that she's not intellectually and her children aren't intellectually superior enough for the it's not time to live the Lord's Prayer group yet. Okay. They're just setting you up because you're a magical thinker and you're superstitious and you're not good enough for the New World Order. Sandy Sandberg know who you are. The light is orange. Malaki Batma. You know, in a sense, but their thing is, people that are a threat to the planet because they can't think properly need to be capable of thinking properly on their own. Because if they're left to their own devices, they will destroy everything. That's a elitist genetic engineering's perspective. Okay. Paris Hilton obviously is not intellectually as astute as Brian Cox, Michio Kaku, and other people that have the capacity to go into a lab, engage in stem cell research, and elongate their lives to points that they deserve because it's their evolution. Okay, that's their perception. Okay, my thing is who in their right mind, never mind, that was the operative question, who in their right mind would want to, that loves women and children and understands the life of sacrifice given to us through holy covenants, would want to, like I told Dad the other day about Walt Disney, I said, that man was not well. He went to have himself cryogenically frozen so he could have himself regenerated in the future when the world is a better place. When all his kids and grandkids that he sells so much were dead and gone, if they weren't able to elongate their lives through genetic research. So he'd wake up and he'd have relatives. So he must have known about genetic sequencing. But I don't know what he was thinking. So if you know about genetic sequencing, just say, okay, my sister will have a guy named Roy who's a lot like me, and he'll be the next Disney. Instead of cloning yourself, am I not my brother's keeper? You're more or less your sister's keeper, and you got to make sure that the man that marries her is a believer. I saw her face, and I'm a believer, not a trace of doubt in my mind. All my sisters, they're all believers. Yeah. Punchy's a believer. Yeah, he just believes differently than the Republicans. He's a Democrat. Democrat can't believe that Republican shit. I believe in that's just the way it is. Things will never be the same, right? He thinks more like Pac, and so did Gabe Mike. Yeah, so did Gabe Mike. So does Pat. But it's like, guys, okay, why do we need a black president? Good look. You know how you get jocks. I'm just gonna get better every day. At what? Okay, if you're given right, good, faithful, and true, how do you get better every day? You just maintain good every day because it's right? Well, you don't have to win basketball games to pay the assholes to live here to justify your existence to dickheads. Okay, when you're truthful, right, and good, and faithful, you don't have to get better every day. You're already there, right? Like I told John Flora, you can't be better than me, but you can be as good as me. Pull your head out of your ass, bam, we're all getting in shape because there's no legalese invented by the Supreme Court to kill Parsons because they publicly embarrassed themselves in front of him. You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth under penalty of law? Your law is based on money, which is not true, so I'm under no obligation to tell you the truth. But since I believe in God, I will tell you the truth to the best of my ability. I just kicked Justice Ginsburg right in the vajayjay. And then she had the audacity to connect to me in prayer on her damn deathbed to tell me what a horrible person I was and I get people killed because I'm an idealist. Oh, Justice Scalia. Yeah, I believe they had a relationship that went past what was considered kosher. She sounds like she was having an affair with that guy. She sounds just like him. And all the assholes, more I think about it, you sound like Satan. How dare you compare yourself to our David, our Moses, and our Abraham? You're nothing like them. I'm nothing like Moses, David, and Abraham. They thought that because I was born guilty because of people like them. Okay. I'm more innocent now at 60 years old than I was the day I was born. I was born in the bowels of hell underneath a bank tower that charged my mom and dad money for me to be born into this world. And they would get in trouble if they didn't pay the hospital for doing what is right by a pregnant woman. Can you imagine King David and King Solomon and Lord Jesus doing that to the children born in the kingdom of Israel? Seriously? Okay. I'm the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer. I redeemed the Gospels. I am more innocent now at 60 years old than I was the day I was born. Right? I was born in hell, trying to swim my way out of it. I dove into Sierra Vista, the worst sexual, deviant, manipulative organization in the history of the world. Retrieved the keys to the kingdom by resisting the temptations of their manipulation of genome sequencing me and people that have loved me for thousands of years in a man-to-woman way, right? And Gordon B. Hinckley, Ezra Taft Benson, Spencer J. Kimball, Johnny Hall, all the owners of NFL franchises and stuff like that would have never known what a sexual athlete King David was if they had listened to Jesus and not had cameras and scientists in my bedroom, and then did everything in their pathetic little ability to make themselves into better sexual athletes than me. And I didn't mean to be better sexual athletes than they. It was just I tried to save myself for the right girl, and it was fun. It's fun. It is so fun. When you get a girl, okay, that knows how to go pop, you know, Nola. When you get a Nola, okay, that knows how to, you know, we had fun. It was like when she wore me out, it was better than when I wore her out. Because when I wore her out, her asthma acted up, and we didn't get to go pop as much, and she got tired, and we have to quit, okay? But when she wore me out, which she really didn't, it was more like, you know, what was the name of that? Dr. Hook, when your body's had enough of me and I'm laying flat out on the floor. When you think I've loved you all I can, I will love you a little bit more. And she knew that. Because we'd have sex and have sex and have sex, and she was on the pill. It'd be like the fifth time, the toe curdler, and she would sit there, and the Eddie Murphy thing, don't touch me, and they laugh and stop it. That was the big one. That was the crescendo. We both washed our hair. It's damn it, Law, and she'd laugh, and it was so cute, it was adorable, right? And big old, give me that stuff that the funk bomb blew up in there, right? And then, but she knew, 20 minutes later. She could be exhausted, throw her naked butt on my thigh, and then she'd be laughing, going, I thought you were tired. I am. Because it was so fun. It felt so good. This feels so great. I could do this. I am REO Speedwagon. I am Barry White. I don't believe Barry White. No. I just don't think a man of his, partying and girth and all that could sexually hang with someone like, maybe it's true. Maybe he could. I don't know. Maybe he could go for, as long as the kid's sitting in the backyard that threw the frisbee in there. Maybe he could. Maybe. I don't know. I can't tell you. Guys, no, I didn't. I was living in Phoenix. It was a carbon emission cesspool. My poor girl had asthma from it. I wasn't as healthy as I could be because, we ended up in Tularosa, or, I got chills, there go to Playas, and because I wouldn't be working at the smelter. So, yeah, no. I wasn't living in a pristine environment. We never really got to. They never let my parents get to Tularosa. Well, that would have blown. In Colville, I was so good at controlling myself. And it was hard because I screwed up with Suzette Gilson. But yeah, no, if I had done Practice Makes Perfect with Vicki Dunlap and she was on the pill, oh God, I'd been like, I'd had so many girls, I had been the worst fornicator in the history of the Mormon church. Damn Eckankar ruined him. No, it didn't. And all the girls in that county are happy. Happy, 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 joy, joy, happy, happy, joy. I want Rin! Right? And Stampy. Stampy. No, yeah, it would have been disastrous. And I always, because the first time it was, and I got sick. And it was to protect myself from situations that I'd be in if, this sexual relationship, this sexual reputation would have had developed sooner than later because of the virtual presence of hypocrites in my life. He's a fornicator, and it's with she's an Indian girl, and it was with I was attracted to women outside the tribe, and it was because I was in the wrong tribe. It's like Vicki Dunlap was white with blonde hair and blue eyes. What do you mean? I got hit on. Melissa Bradley was blonde hair and blue eyes. The Michelle Pfeiffer girl at Deer Valley? Yeah. She was cute. Oh my gosh, yeah. She kind of resembles Michelle Pfeiffer. She was cute. Yeah. You're gay. I'm not gay. You're a tease. And that same thing Vicki Dunlap told me. You're a tease. I'm not a tease. But I had to tell her, Melissa, okay, I could go to your house, okay, every day right after school, have sex with you till your old man gets home, run out buck-ass naked, pulling my pants on out your bedroom window every day for, and that would be like from 3:30 or 4 o'clock till 5:45 or 6, right? Okay. Every day. We'd be, you're on the pill? Yes, yay! For 3 weeks, right? Come back to school. That was great. That was wonderful. Ursula Cancer comes up. I've heard about you. Would you like to be my boyfriend? Yes. Okay. Thanks, Melissa. You said it was just, just to see if, okay. It wasn't no commitment. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I've been waiting to get this girl naked now, those dance tights. Woo, woo, woo. Okay. Andrie, if your sister doesn't screw other guys on me, I won't screw other girls on her. Okay. But you already did with Melissa Bradley. That was an open relationship. That was a 60s thing. That was a Woodstock thing. Okay? This is a 50s thing. This is a Ray's thing. 2 silhouettes on the shade. I think it is. If she turns out to be a psycho hose beast and crazy as hell and jealous as shit and everywhere we go drives me crazy, I am leaving your sister the moment she drives me insane, and I'm finding somebody else to have sex with that's not as crazy as your sister. Okay, Andy? Okay. Your sister's a psycho hose beast. I did lose her about 2 months ago, right? So it's not my fault that I was born into sin and born into hell because your ancestors rejected Jesus in Rome during the occupation of Judea. It's not my fault I was born in hell and born in sin. Okay? That's all your ancestors' fault for denying the molecular similitude of the line of Ruth. Okay? But I dove into hell and retrieved the keys to the kingdom. What do? Forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. It's not time yet. Okay, so we're still in hell because of your sin, not because of my devotion to being a good person. Fornication, as you guys call it, does not make you the devil. It makes you a human being, okay, with bad heterosexualing. Honor thy mother and father. My mom and dad had to pay the devil for me to be born, okay? And they had to accept that because of the sin they inherited from their parents denying Christ at Calvary. God damn, they're dumb. Hi, I'm a scientist. I've got it all figured out. I am way ahead of Parsons. Yeah, I get up every day to be a better scientist and make the world a better place in the name of science. I am a screenwriter for The Big Bang Theory and Young Sheldon and George and Mandy's 5th, 6th, 7th marriage. It won't last, but it's all right. Syndication will pay my bills until Parsons has overcome the world. Oh, shit. I'm not going to be able to manipulate women for sex anymore in Hollywood, am I? No. Okay. That makes me muy, muy excited. How about you? Guys, if a woman don't want to be with you, okay, that's not a bad thing. Right? It's not a bad thing. If a woman does not want to be with you intimately or romantically, that is not a bad thing. Well, on Teen Wolf tonight, the hot blonde that screwed around on her boyfriend and did, and then she did that, and stuff. And if she doesn't want to be with you, that's not a bad thing. She's not meant for you, right? The little brown hair girl in the stairwell was meant to be with him, right? So that's a good thing, I love you too. Now I'm dreaming with you tonight. And baby, I can rock it to you, right? I'm home for Christmas once again. It's not like Christmas when we're apart. So Eugene wasn't wrong or bad. And Liz and the Mona and the others weren't good, okay? They just had bad heterosexualing because it was under the guise of Christianity, but it's philanthropy, right? It's a bank. It's not a church, it's a bank, right? But it's a tax-free organization, so the bank can get larger and larger and larger, like Scientology. There we go. Everybody do the Teen Wolf dance things, right? It's so funny. No, I think the Teen Wolf thing is like Bed of Roses, It's trying to get back to who you are. Because, guys, typically, for years, when a girl's 13 in ancient times and an 18-year-old guy, I want you. Well, I want you too, and you've just hit of age. That was what happened. And then they changed it to social convention, and there was the bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, the quinceañera, okay? And the main cause of that was just basically death and pregnancy. And they found, through I guess what they would refer to as trial and error, okay, that the more mature the woman, the less capacity they had to die in childbirth. But that was more, I think, through stress, through combat and jealousness and things like that, than it was actually an age thing, given the development and the survival of the people at the time. But it's always better to, you're still a young man. It's better to wait, not forever, but it's better to mature. Okay, it's better to mature. You don't want you're at 13, 14, 15. You're not ready. You're not ready. Okay, you're just not ready. Okay, you're not ready. Everybody, you're never ready. If you're a philanthropist, you're never ready. Okay, but I was ready from the time I was young. When me and Rocky were doing our thing, and if she got pregnant, I was ready. I was gonna be there. I was gonna do everything necessary to work my ass off and be tired and exhausted and make sure she was eating and healthy and in the most healthy conditions we could get up, and eventually get her up to Flagstaff to get out of the pollution of that fucking city. Oh, she liked it. Oh yeah. He got me to Flagstaff because he didn't want me to die from car poisoning, from automobile poisoning. He loves me. But the thing about it is we all can't move to Flagstaff, but we can all live the Lord's Prayer and not be killed by genocide through economics in Denver, Chicago, and St. Paul. Right? And I'm in Colorado when I'm not in some hotel, living out this life I've known and I've gone to know so well. Okay, so guys, we need freedom from hell now. If you want to participate, you're going to have to get with it, because what you are trying to do with genetic research to unnaturally elongate your life for what you perceive as scientific evolution is an absolute abomination to the gift of the life given to everybody. We will live longer, healthier lives when we apply the physics of the Lord's Prayer, and empathy and respect is the standard of human existence. And if you can't understand that, I'm certain the understanding of laws and the laws given to maintain ourselves without human manipulation, trying to kill other people off for what's considered a better quality of life through murder of others because you have cooked the books to make it ends justify the means. Okay? Trust me, technology is getting much more intelligent than any of you people that think you're intelligent have ever been. Okay. There's a reason why people pray to the spirit of this man and don't pray to the spirit of Bill Gates. Don't pray to the spirit. There's not books and stories about save my children from being murdered by this Frankenstein. Okay? Don't feed their Frankenstein. Hey, stupid. Okay. No. And he met, I know, that's crazy. He met the thing, and after that, it might have been shortly after that, or it was probably shortly after that, Yeah. He met the Messiah at Christown Mall. Yeah. I was really pleasantly surprised. Okay? Because I was like, Alice Cooper? You like Alice Cooper? That music is kind of goofy, But I always did like I really, 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 I know and one buddy, I can't remember his name, is such a sweetheart at Fry's. He's the sweetest guy, and he really liked Alice Cooper, and his favorite was Hey Stupid. Okay? Stop doing drugs, right? And but my favorite is Popcorn and TV. You and me ain't no superstar. What we are is what we are. That is a cool tune. I gotta put that on my MP3. Yeah, I definitely gotta do that. That's a keeper. That's a good tone. We share our days of popcorn and TV, but that's enough for a working man. What I am is what I am. And baby, that's enough for me. That is a good tune. That's a very sincere, heartfelt cartoon of, a cartoon, not cartoon, TV, not a prayer of, having to survive cartoons and TV. Like, what was the name of that song? La-dee-da-dee-dum, la-dee-da. No, there was another song a lot like that, where it was just, how to survive hell together. Because that's where they're at. There was lots of songs like that, but it was a good prayer. I thought it was beautiful. That's enough for. Lay Lady Lay by Bob Dylan. His clothes are dirty, but his hands are clean, and you're the best thing that he's ever seen. Stay, lady, stay with your man a while till the break of day. Let me see you make him smile. Good tone. Every dog has their day. I think when you buy your own press, you fuck yourself with your own ego. I think when you realize you're given life by the glory of God, and we're all given life by the glory of God, and you don't need press to celebrate life through others and loving them faithfully, that's when you deliver yourself from your own delusions of grandeur, which are evil, right? Evolution! I'm going to evolve myself into a stem cell research department at a HBCU. I'm making it stop. Well, the wheels on the bus go round and round. I'm parking the bus. If we need to lose a bus to go to events to enjoy each other's company and fun, and dancing events or events to be healthy because of exercise, we shall do so. But debt and trespass will have nothing to do with it, because human delusions of power and authority are absolutely insane. Under penalty of law, okay, your laws are based on make-believe money. Okay, the laws I believe in are based on the infinite essence of life and our eternal existence through holy covenants, through life sacrifice. Yeah. I'm certain I'm not making up these prayers. I'm certain they're connecting to people that believe in the truth of real religion and the eternal spirit of a real faithful Father that restores our faith in that truth. Okay, guys, I love you. All right, peace out, man.